So, good evening, and welcome along to another episode of the Big Music Show here on NVTV. Coming up on the show this week, we'll have live music from singer-songwriter Darren Doherty. We'll be delving into the archives and remembering our good friend, singer-songwriter Christie Hennessey, who passed away back in 2007. And starting things off with a track from his new album, The End of the Common Man, here is Matt McGinn.
Take your time. Just be here before the morning. I'm not sure if I could hold it longer than that. I'm alright. At least that's what I told you. I don't know if you knew it, but I could tell I need some light. Once we were young, I could offer a strong shoulder, enough comfort just to hold you back from doing something wrong. So tell me now, be my last salvation, and make my final thoughts of you be something I can keep. And I just need one more night to have you close to me. Lay me down and let me be. For a moment, could I lean on you instead? Or was that just somewhere you could run to? Was that just somewhere you could run to? Was that just somewhere you could run to? This time I need you to stay still. This time I need you to stay still. Hurry now, see how far you make it. Show me that you're more than you think that you could be. And I just need one more night to have you close to me. Lay me down and let me be. For a moment, could I just lean on you instead? Or was I just somewhere you could run to? Was I just somewhere you could run to? Was I just somewhere you could run to? This time I need you to stay still. This time I need you to stay still. This time I need you to stay still.
So that's a song called Somewhere to Run To from Matt McGinn, who joins me now in the studio. Matt, how are you?
Not too bad, Robin.
Good to see you. So tell us about that song, Somewhere to Run To. What's the background story to that?
It's off the last album called The End of the Common Man. A lot of the songs would have sort of different maybe social elements running through it. But that one there is probably, it's just basically an unrequited love song. You know, even though, you know, I'm happily married and you know, have a lovely family and kids and that, but I find it actually still very easy to tap into the 15-year-old Matt who, you know, was a little bit spurned the odd time. So that's basically what that song's about.
Taking you back to your 15-year-old Matt, were you songwriting and performing back then as well?
I wrote a couple of songs when I was 15 or 16. I never really had any intention of being a performer. I always really thought I would love to be the producer, the person behind the glass, sort of telling everybody else what to do, and you know, trying to bring the best out in them. But just it sort of has happened sort of by accident. I started writing songs when I was about maybe 19 or 20, and although it was probably about 7 or 8 years of doing cover material before I really started to air those songs in public.
And did you come from a musical family?
Yeah, my mother is a great singer. My sister's a great singer, my brother as well actually. And my father can hold a mean tune on the guitar and sing and all. So yeah, we were brought to piano lessons at a young age, and it was great from that. I sort of, you know, without realising it, was getting the whole theory behind music. So then I picked up the guitar when I was about 11 or 12. I always thought of it as practicing the piano or playing the guitar.
Yeah.
It was never practicing the guitar because it was just so much fun. So it was great to have both those elements, you know. But yeah, it's pretty musical.
What about from a songwriting point of view? Were you a big fan of Van Morrison? Reason why I ask is you've just done this big Astral Weeks 50th anniversary concert, haven't you?
I always thought I liked Van Morrison, and then you sort of learn more and more about his. I mean, the depth of that catalogue is serious. So almost like in the same way as the Beatles and Dylan and stuff, you sort of almost like on a monthly basis gain more respect for him because you're sort of seeing a little bit more into that catalogue and where he goes. But the 50th anniversary was a lovely thing to do because, again, that's where almost the theory and the slight classical background came out, because I had the opportunity to perform with Arco String Quartet, and was able to, and so jumped at the chance to arrange the song for them, to sort of have our own unique arrangement, and it was lovely. But yeah, it was a fantastic night, and I mean, like, you know, the lineup was lovely. Duke Special, Anthony Toner, Ursula Burns, you know, and the I even hate calling them a tribute act, but because but Celtic Soul.
Oh, they're brilliant.
They're brilliant,
yeah,
like, you know,
really are, yeah.
and they backed a few people on other songs, did their own versions of the Van songs, and no, they're brilliant.
So how important do you think Astral Weeks is as an album?
I think it's very important. For me personally, it's very important because whenever you're doing all different sorts of writing, whether it's, you know, maybe, you know, I could be on Skype with somebody in Nashville and writing, or I could maybe taking music workshops or something like that, and constantly you're either in a situation where you're slightly following, not a formula, but a sort of a way to go that you know works. And especially if you're teaching that to somebody else, you look at the likes of some of the songs in Astral Weeks, and they are, they're the most unorthodox songs, and they're completely, you know, if you were in a music workshop or something, a songwriting workshop, you'd be taught this is how not to do it.
Yeah.
But yet, the likes of Van Morrison, especially in that album, it's almost like he takes no notice of what other people are doing, but yet is very highly tuned to what's going on around him in terms of the world, and is able to sort of completely take that and put his own spin on it. So it's completely from within him, a very unique look on the world, and that means that the actual writing, once you look into those songs, like they're so unorthodox.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's very important as a songwriter to completely remind yourself that although it might seem like a good idea to go verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, out, you know, that sometimes you have to really flip things in their head to actually be special. Yeah. And that's what he does.
The weird thing that I find, every time you listen to Astral Weeks, you find something new. In it, don't you? In the songs, you find something you haven't heard before. You go, wow, I didn't realise this, or didn't.
Yeah, it could even be an instrument. Yeah. You know, you might go, oh, there's a flute there. Yeah. Where'd that flute come from? You know, it wasn't there for the last 100 listens. But yeah, and I mean, and that's the thing. See, once you start even trying to learn one of those songs and get in behind the structure of it, then you're, it's mad.
So what's your favourite song on the album?
About 10 years ago, for I'd say must have been for the 40th anniversary, which was down in the OES Centre, I did Cypress Avenue, which I loved, but now that I've got into Beside You, I think it's just, I love it now.
Yeah.
I definitely do. Now, I mean, the likes of the other night, there were 2 versions of Madame George. Ursula Burns did one, and then a fantastic young jazz singer, Catherine Timoney, and her band did an incredible version. So it's a fantastic song.
I love Madame George. It's a great story. Yeah. Brilliant stuff. Talking about music legends, you did the Jackie Flavelle gig recently as well, didn't you?
Yeah, Jackie was a good friend. I really enjoyed playing with Jackie, and I used to love getting the call. You know, where it's like, oh, come on, do you want to do a wee jam? You know, this Sunday, and it would be something to look forward to. So, but yeah, it was a lovely excuse to see a lot of people I haven't seen in a while. Yeah. So, you know, in one corner you had the likes of, you know, unfortunately me with my acoustic guitar, I had to go on after, which was pretty much Taste. It was like John Wilson and Sam Davidson and a load of other boys. But you had that there, Kieran Lavery, Jackie played on Jackie's last studio session was with Kieran. So it was great to have him there. Duke was there. Jackie's played with him loads of times, and yeah, it was just a lovely way to remember him. And you know, there was a lovely vibe in the room that it wasn't like in any way sad. It was just everybody there for the crack, which he would have loved, you know.
Yeah. So has 2018 then been a busy year for you?
It has been mad. We released the End of the Common Man in March, and a stream of gigs along with that. And then in April or May, there was a project that I've been working on called Lessons of War, which myself and a young Belfast filmmaker, Colin Laverty, we managed to put together a film and showed it in the Belfast Film Festival. That was a project that I've been working on with the Arts Council, where we I contacted people, musicians and artists from across the world, from areas that have been, you know, affected by conflict or war, and we originally just were going to write one song and have them work on it. And then I found this young guitar player through a friend called Joby Fox, called Yazan Ibrahim, who would live in the Golan Heights near the Syrian border. And we took him over to a studio in Dundalk and managed to sort of collate about 3 or 4 days recording and a small documentary from it. So that was lovely. And as well as that, I love doing my own stuff, and I love writing for myself, but I've been writing with other people a lot.
You wrote a song with Kim Ritchie, didn't you, at some stage?
Myself, Gareth Dunlop and Kim Ritchie, yeah. Kim's fantastic. Yeah. I mean, that was just sort of sitting, you know, just watching how it's done as well, like, because she can just bend it and craft it, and just to sort of to be doing that, but watching how it unfolded as well was class. So yeah, I actually released it last year along with Nalani, who are they're sort of children of the Sands family. So they're cousins who have made this fantastic group, sort of like a folk trad group, but with a nice modern twist on it as well. So it was lovely to work with them. So yeah, I mean, this year I've been doing my own stuff, but I've been doing a lot of producing as well, and there's some tracks. There's a fantastic singer, Una Clerkin from Belfast, and her track is to come out soon.
And of course, you've played some massive gigs over the years. I'm thinking about the big one in Hyde Park with Sir Paul McCartney.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, that's the thing about this business. Every day is different, and like I love nothing more than doing my own stuff, but I also love sort of jumping on stage along with other people to play with, like Gareth Dunlop, and you know, I saw Juliet Turner recently. I used to play guitar for her a good bit, and at that stage we're over playing in Hyde Park with Kieran Gribben, who's aka Joe Echo, who's over in Australia now, and we were that was a fantastic day. just sharing the stage earlier on, you know, that was then to be sort of graced by Crosby, Stills and Nash, Paul McCartney, Elvis Costello, and Crowded House. You know, so I mean, it was you know, to be able to go on first, nervous as anything, get that out of your system, and then just to sit and watch all the rest of them. That was a good day.
Brilliant. You're going to do one final song before you go. What are you going to do this time?
I'm going to do another song from the End of the Common Man album called The Right Name, which is just basically like it's a bit of a rant about all sorts of things, but sort of holding in memory coming up to university when I was about 19 or 20, and sort of being warned of being in that scenario in Belfast where, you know, you have to you know, watch yourself there. You might not have the right name.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to sort of figure out then, you know, maybe what is the right name? Should you be changing your name, or, you know, all those sorts of things. So it's it's a bit of a rant.
Great. Well, Matt, thank you so much for coming in and joining us on
Thanks
the show.
for having me.
Thank you. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. One more time. Here is Matt McGinn.
I've been trying hard since to forget. And of all the things I've done, they follow me like that one. Halfway into paying my debt. We could be running a lost life, but we haven't started losing it yet. Standing in your crosshairs, firing like crazy, but it's too hard to hit me, I bet. Nothing's good when it's all you got, and every lesson learned more is a sin. What's the difference if we make it or not when I'm looking out for someone to blame? So you better have the right name. Oh, you better have the right name. Oh, you better have the right name. Oh, you better have the right name. Now me and the devil were partners, and I find myself backing again. But the terms of my deal are etched on my forehead, and it looks like we're one and the same. So you better have the right name. Oh, you better have the right name. Oh, you better have the right name. Oh, you better have the right name. listen, 'cause everyone else thinks I'm mad. Maybe you will hear me. It wasn't some dream that I just had. Could feel your eyes on me. Could feel your eyes on me. Could feel your eyes on me. Could feel your heartbeat. I kissed you. I swear you were there. I don't have much to prove it, 'cause no hard evidence exists. I tell my friends and they're loyal, but they're checking me in if this persists. Could feel your eyes on me. Could feel your eyes on me. Still feel your eyes on me. Could feel your heartbeat. I kissed you. I swear you were there. By the time the roads align, start a fire and ignore the signs. By the time the roads align, start a fire and ignore the signs. Do not expect to meet you, not in my wildest dreams. So was not prepared for leaving. I'm sure you get it, girl. I'm sure you get it, girl. I'm sure you get it, you were there. I'm sure you get it, girl. I'm sure you get it, girl. I'm sure you get it, you were there.
So that's a song called You Were There from Darren Doherty, who joins us now in the studio. Darren, how are you?
Very well, Robin.
Good stuff. Tell us about that track then. This is something that hasn't been released yet, isn't that correct?
Oh, well, no, I put You Were There came out last November.
Okay.
It was sort of way ahead of this record, you know. The album's not coming out now until April.
Right,
but it's been a long process, you know. Yeah, it's a song, it's really representative of sort of the subject matter of the whole record, you know, and it was one of the first ones that I got. Okay. And it's a nice, straightforward, really simple song, you know, and not all the songs are simple and straightforward, so I like introducing with that one, you know. So
we eventually then get the album out. What can we expect from the album then?
The album, it's like a lot of my stuff, which is incredibly honest, raw, confessional sort of songwriting, you know. I find that, like many people, a form of therapy, you know, and it's been that for me. This second album, I've really improved my production, because I make them all in my own studio at home, you know. So it's not so much singer-songwritery as a bit bigger production, you know, and that's why I've got the Heathen Choir, which is my band.
Yes.
To play it live, you know.
Yeah, brilliant. So how long have you been doing the whole singer-songwriter thing for then? How long has it been?
Well, I've been in the music scene in Northern Ireland since I was about 11.
Right.
11 or 12, you know, playing about in Strabane and Donegal, and I cut my teeth there.
Yeah.
And then was in various bands throughout the last 15 years, really. Based in Belfast a long time, a band called The Northern Light, a band called Tapasaya, different things. But last March, it was a big turning point for me. went out on my own, you know, and made my own album at home after a sort of turbulent year in my life, you know, sort of way, you know, back home to mum and dad, and sort of put everything back together and put the record together and did it myself, you know. So ever since last year, I've been on this sort of one-man mission, you know.
And because you're doing it all yourself, I suppose in a way you're probably harder on yourself, aren't you, to get things right, and it probably takes a lot longer to get an album together.
Well, you would, yeah, certainly your own worst critic and all that. Very much so, but it's. I don't. It can be. I suppose it's maybe the age that I'm at now as well, and that, you know, it can be quite difficult to get a number of adults together.
Yes, yeah.
It really can, even just, you know, on a weekly basis, just even to get for rehearsals for, you know, people have kids, families, everything now, you know, and so no, doing my own thing at my own pace it suits me now, you know.
And what about gigs? Any gigs we should know about coming up soon?
At the minute, I've just released my single Heathens Friday past there, and I'm going to be releasing another one in the new year, building up towards the album release in April. The album's called The Travel Companion, Volume 1. Okay. And there's no shows set up yet with the band, but there'll be plenty in the new year, you know. I just want the songs to do the talking at the minute, you know.
Well, I was listening to the track Heathens the other day, and it seems to be getting a great reception online and on social media and stuff at the minute, doesn't it?
It seems to be going down quite well, which I'm really pleased about. It's a special song. It comes from a very honest place of darkness, like, you know, and pining, you know. Sort of the idea of not giving up on people and not giving up on yourself is the thing that's resonating with people, you know. Also, the video helps an awful lot. It's made by my good friend Colin Laverty. Colin, who's of the Also Rans fame. Right. He's directed all those and many other music videos, including working with Melodian. And he made Strabane look really nice, you know, in the sun. So yeah, check it out.
Great stuff. Right, if people do want to check you out and get more information about you and what you do, give us your details. How do they do that?
It's everything's online. Darren Doherty on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. Darren Doherty and the Heathen Choir. So the band, you can see us publicised for shows that are coming around. You get me on Spotify, iTunes, all the usual places. I can be found.
Good stuff. You're going to do one more before you go. What are you going to do this time?
We'll do Heathens, just to say it out.
Brilliant. Great stuff. Well, Darren, thank you.
Thanks very much, Robin.
And joining us. So here we go with a track called Heathens. Here is Darren Doherty.
Take a dose to stay awake, for someone to forget you. You're running low on faith, fading memories to cling to. You hide away from lovers in the street, but you can't help but take a peek, 'cause love strikes down all our enemies. God, I wish that I could feel it now. Love strikes down all our enemies. God, I wish that I could feel it now. Love strikes down all our enemies. God, I wish that I could feel it now. Love strikes down all our enemies. Who are they anyway? Who are they anyway? She couldn't stand another day looking in your eyes and lying. She upped and ran away to the coast that killed the crying. She hides away, but no one knows the truth. We won't stop searching for the proof, 'cause love strikes down all our enemies. God, I wish that I could feel it now. Love Love strikes down all our enemies. God, I wish that I could feel it now. Love strikes down all our enemies. God, I wish that I could feel it now. Love strikes down all our enemies. Ooh, who are they anyway? Who are they anyway? It's like machine guns, the fire with locomotive desire, and handmade their own time. The fullest scenes then come to mind. Those who love so furious refuse to admit defeat. Ooh, they have the cheek to call us weak, 'cause love strikes down all our enemies. God, I wish that I could feel it now. Love strikes down all our enemies. God, I wish that I could feel it now. Love strikes down all our enemies. God, I wish that I could feel it now. Love strikes down all our enemies. Ooh, who are they anyway?
Great song from Darren Doherty, that's called Heathens. Now, to finish the show this week, we're going to remember our good friend, singer-songwriter Christie Hennessey, who passed away back in 2007. And a new album produced by the RTE Concert Orchestra is out now, featuring great orchestral versions of some of Christie's biggest songs. The album's called The Last Goodbye, so we've been delving into the archives, and here is some live performances and an interview that I recorded with Christie shortly before his death in 2007.
So Christie, welcome to Belfast. You're on a busy tour at the minute. You're going to be exhausted by the end of it.
I am, Robin, yeah. And you know what, I was just thinking, I've been writing songs for 40 years.
Really?
Yeah. I started writing when I was about, I think I was 22, I'm 62 now. 40 years, a long time, isn't it? God.
And do you ever remember the first song you ever wrote?
Oh, I do, yeah. I was listening to the radio and I heard a song by Leroy Carr called Blues Before Sunrise. So I started singing the song, and then I told a few friends of mine that they should get this record, you know, and they said, what's it called? I said, Blues Before Sunrise by Leroy Carr. So that's not the one you're singing. I said, no. I said, brilliant, I've just written a song. So that was the first song I've ever wrote.
All right, and what about influences and stuff growing up? Did you come from a musical family?
I did, yeah. My dad played accordion, but all big band stuff, you know, Glenn Miller stuff and all that. And my mum was a very traditional singer and told lots of stories and that, you know. And the whole family sang and played music, you know.
And were you doing the storytelling thing from an early age? Because all your songs seem to tell a story the whole way through it. So was storytelling a long tradition in yourself as well?
I didn't think it was, but that's the way it seemed to have turned out, you know. But I didn't think at the time that that's what I was doing, but obviously I was. And my mum said I was a good liar, so maybe that's
Now, you left Ireland at a very early age. I think you were 15, weren't you, when you first went to London? That must have been a scary time, leaving Tralee for London.
It was scary, but it was really exciting as well, you know, getting on the train, going up to Cork and getting the boat. And then it kind of got a bit frightening when I got on the building site, you know.
Right.
And with all the strange fellas sending you down to get rubber nails and glass hammers. I did it all. You know, I know it's a joke, but I did all that. And yeah, but it was really exciting. And I got a lot of my stories from there, because I lived in a place called Norfolk Square, which I wrote a song about. Yeah. And, you know, so it was a great time. And of course, my first album was in 1970. You didn't ask me this, but I'll tell you anyway. My first album was in 1972. And we did, I think, 13 songs, and we needed another song. And 2 nights before, I wrote Don't Forget Your Shovel because of all the building site experience. So I wrote Don't Forget Your Shovel, put it on the album, and then Christie Moore had his first #1 from it, so it was great.
Exactly. So how did Christie get to hear about the song? Did you send Christie a copy of that, or did he just hear about it?
No, I didn't. I was on a very small label. I think it sold about 120.
Right.
And I was big for those days, like, you know. And I was taking them around the folk clubs in a haversack. But in the meantime, BBC was doing an omnibus, and they were going to do it in Dublin. And they were looking around the folk clubs to any Irish singers that would come over. So they brought me over to the omnibus and in the meeting place in Dublin. And I was singing a few songs, and Christie Moore was in the audience, and so he started shouting, "Don't forget your shovel." So I was like, how did he know that? So I didn't know where he got it from, but apparently Artie McGinn and lots of people, Donald Looney, they'd all been listening to the album. So that they'd already heard it, you know, so that was that.
Okay, now John Peel, he was a big supporter of yours, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was amazing for me, because I was doing the folk clubs for £7 a night. I know, I'll tell you this now, Rob, you won't believe this, but at £7 a night, you had to go into the club, stand beside the stage, tune up your guitar, get on stage, sing for 2 hours, and get off, and then maybe they called you back on to do another quarter of an hour if they liked you, but you stood beside the stage. Then John Peel came to see me in a club one night and said that he'd like me to come in to onto his show and do 4 songs for him. So I did, and literally overnight, I started charging £25 a night.
Right.
In the same club, they gave me a lovely room to change and tune up in. So just literally overnight. So he had a fantastic power, you know, so, which radio has, and yourself, like, included. So.
And what was John Peel like as a person? How did you find John when you first met him?
Pretty laid back, you know, and he just said, I'm not going to apologise for Irish music, because if it's good no matter what music it is. And that'll always live with me, like, you know, if it's good, it doesn't matter where it comes from.
All right. Okay, so as we've said, you've been in the music business for a long time now. What would you say has been the biggest highlight so far?
Biggest highlight, besides today? Robin, there'll be so many things, like, I won the Emmys, I won the Songwriters Award. I think maybe, what was it? What would it be? I don't know. There's so many things. No, I don't know really.
All right, but what about the Platinum Collection? That's coming out. It's out now, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
The album. Tell us about the songs on this. Did you choose all the songs yourself?
I did, because about 18 months ago they had the definitive out. Warner's put it out, and then they phoned me up and said, pick all your favourite songs off of the last 5 albums you did for us. So they're all the songs I picked, and so it's really exciting for me. They're all songs that maybe people wouldn't have heard, you know.
Christie, it's been great talking to you, as always. The single A Price for Love is out now. They can get this on the Children in Crossfire website, and from your website, christiehennessey.com as well.
Yes, and it's every penny goes to charity, because my manager had made up her own record label to make sure that every penny goes there. So that's very important to us.
Okay, great stuff. Well, good luck with that and the album, and good luck with the rest of the tour. You're touring right through until the end of April.
Thank you very much, Robin. It's lovely seeing you again. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
I go to a place whenever I'm lonely, down by the river where no one knows me, and I don't mind. Nice to have somewhere to go to. I stand on the bridge, look into the water, and in a little while someone's talking, and I don't mind. Nice to have someone to talk to. Each time my world's upside down, and I just can't find any way out. I stand and wait for a while and watch the birds in the sky fly by, and then here I go again, here I go again, here I go again. La 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 la. Each time my world's upside down, and I just can't find any way out.
I stand and wait for a while and watch the birds in the sky fly by. And then here I go again, here I go again, here I go again. La 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 la, la la la, la 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 la, la la la, la 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 la.